We are back for another episode of Hard Not Life, dedicated to the new core of hip-hop today, the business, the brand, and the balance between authenticity and entertainment. Obviously, we're recording in one of the most authentic spots in Brooklyn, New York.
Authentic.
Fresh Aesthetic, home of Classic Material New York. You can find a lot of their clothes on classicmaterialny.com. Or you can stop by the store here on Grand Street, again in Williamsburg, Brooklyn. We are here to break down the deals and the real, the bars, and specifically the beef. We connect the echoes of the past with news of the present, with predictions for the future. Anything we bring up here is up for discussion and debate. Most times debate. But it's all about the content. That's why we introduce ourselves last. And I'm your host and your moderator. Well, not so much the moderator today. Saul Goodman, Lion of Bed-Stuy. And my co-host like to introduce himself.
From THECAINMARKO, New Jersey Juggernaut. Was good.
New Jersey's Juggernaut.
Charles.
No, Charles. We're using the same fucking jokes. Can we please get some sound bites? Kane.
All right. I got you.
And I neglected. Oh, we have a guest.
Oh!
Hey.
Shit!
Hey.
Yes!
Celebrity in the building.
Oh, shit! The OG. Good.
Triple OG.
The OG Dallas Penn, host of the famed Talkitecture podcast, is back.
So much
Polo Don.
So much polo in the closet. Polo got to buy shit from him.
Hey.
The king of the Tims.
Got Tim's and more flavors than Baskin Robbins. What's good?
Ooh, yeah, we got a lot of Tims.
Lot of Tim. I'm just waiting for you to be like, yo, we got girl sizes now. And then I'll be like, what you doing? Like, you got the sweatshop in the basement? Like, what's good?
No. Just my archive. Just my shit.
We had the OG come in, but I neglected the rest of my gang last time. Really excited to see UFO Thief, give his opinion. But our executive producer Mika is here.
Hey, what's up? Hey.
Yeah.
Mika's not here, the show doesn't get recorded. So you can assume so.
I'm always here.
Word.
I'm watching at all times.
Watching and
I'm
directing
here.
and producing
I'm behind the scenes.
and threatening.
Threatening a little bit.
And of course, the most talented man in New York is here with us.
Word.
Modern Marvel.
The quiet one.
Quiet.
AKA Patch Adams.
Yes.
Quiet
Hey.
storm. And of course, Milton is here.
Yes.
Happy to have you back. Always can you welcome your your insight.
New album on the way.
Oh, for real?
Uh-oh.
You on a promo tour?
A little promo plug.
Oh, my bad.
All right. Well, so we have a new topic, of course.
Word. Very excited.
Just gonna go right in.
Yo, I'm very excited for this.
What has been taking up the consciousness of all hip hop heads for the past few weeks, or I guess for the entire summer now that we take a look at it. But
Yo, there's been so much beef this year, man.
Indeed.
There's been white on white violence. It's amazing.
I'm here for the white on white violence. I'm not gonna pretend. Where are the white fathers? Well,
making diss songs about their baby moms.
Making careers off of their baby moms. I would throw that in there now. But the biggest one, the main one that's been going on for more than a decade at this point is Pusha T versus Drake.
Pronounce that with a hard ER.
For
but
sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Pusha T.
I don't know. No, I'll push it. The question, the topic, based on that, also with the continuing friction or the continuing issues between Nicki Minaj and Cardi B, the Eminem versus everybody that's not an Eminem fan, and
put some respect on MGK's name that he changed so he could get more commercial airplay because his name is Machine Gun Kelly.
Where's that name change actually got him? Exactly.
Nowhere.
Exactly.
Nowhere.
Oh, man.
So the question is, what's beef in 2018? So, beef is when you need two gats to go to sleep. Beef is when your moms ain't safe up in the streets. Beef is when ICU, guaranteed to be in ICU. Beef is also when you make your enemy start your Jeep.
Word.
Beef is when you roll no less than 30 deep.
That was when gas was like less than $1. You could roll 30 deep. You get back and forth.
Fair. 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 You know what those airplane prices, those ticket prices look like now? Whole entourage on Spirit. But obviously that we're not talking about that kind of beef. I don't know if it's ever really been that kind of beef. What is rap beef? Actually, can we get the first opinion from the OG in the building right now?
Sure.
DP.
I mean, what is rap beef? Like, did somebody steal somebody's style? Somebody rapping the same way, using the same metaphors or same similes? Like, that would be beef. Like, if somebody came out with a word for something and then somebody else started using your word, trying to flip it and bounce it, like, but not really. Like, remember when Ghost told us, don't be sounding like my crew? Shark niggas. Biting. Style biters. But I mean, what's rap beef? To me, you spend your time creating music in a studio. You don't how do you beef with anybody? You're isolated. You're writing rhymes. You're not running around standing on a corner looking at people's screw face. What's wrong with these people?
Yo, I love rap beef though. It makes it so interesting and it forces people to try hard. And a lot of people aren't trying hard right now, Like, when's the last time you heard Eminem sound like that good on a track? And you're like, oh, this is the M that I used to remember back in the day when I was in high school. I just told my age, but yeah, like that excited me, made me more excited about like the energy he brought to it more so than him just making a random song with Halsey that's getting played on the radio,
Well, I mean, he's got a catalog of songs that he can go into like Wembley Stadium. He can go into a building that has like 100,000 people and play for. So I mean, what's his directive? Go out and make music so that I can go into a building of 100,000 people, or make some songs so I can be at SOBs and I can be a floor and a board with a floorboard and the floorboard and the floorboard. I mean,
it kind of somehow does both though.
Greatest grandest baddest planet. See on the screen, man.
man, you're getting divorced and then getting abortion. That shit was hilarious. But I mean, he's a way better technician than that. I mean, he's just an incredible lyricist. And I mean, I don't begrudge anybody, because at a certain point you get tired of you get tired of the places you had been, except maybe going to a stadium with 100,000 people.
True. I would say there's rap beef and there's actual beef. It is like beef,
right?
Which is like Russ stomping out Smoke Perp in the back of a backstage at a concert.
That's beef.
That's beef. Like, we've gone beyond just stuff on wax. But then you have beef like it's like
50 Joe Budden, 50 Ja. I mean, all of that. 50 and Ja was real in the sense that they come from the same neighborhood. They have similar neighborhood connections, and frankly, 50 was probably jealous of Ja's style.
Yeah. My issue with 50 and beefs is that he never keeps it on wax. It's always like, I'm gonna find somebody to follow your mom back when she from getting groceries,
I think that's the sexy part of 50's beefs that he added, that he kind of ruined beef too. 50 kind of ruined hardcore rap for all of us. 50 ruined hardcore rap because now who's getting shot 9 times? The only person that almost got to top 50 was that time DJ AM jumped out of the burning plane. Do you remember that time? Like DJ AM and another dude was on a burning plane.
They didn't jump out of a burn. They didn't like the plane crashed, right?
The plane crashed.
The
Listen,
plane crashed, and then
that was the
and Travis Barker
only
was the
thing
only
that could top
survivor.
50. And then DJ AM,
Oh, wait,
God
no.
rest his soul,
Sorry,
dies
sorry,
of an
OD years later. You're right.
Yeah.
AM and Travis Barker were both in a plane crash. They sued the company. AM got clean and then like had a relapse.
God damn, he was the only dude that could top 50 for some hardcore shit.
If I may interject here, I think that even really when it comes to rap beef and beef, they usually a lot of beef can be based on rap beef, and usually rap beef is based on some petty shit. Sometimes miscommunications, misinterpretations,
Subliminals.
between Juice Crew and Boogie Down. KRS thought that when they were talking about the home of this shit in this Queensbridge, he thought they were trying to take the birthplace of hip hop away from the Bronx, and that wasn't what he meant in that moment.
And I have to tell you again, more contrived beef, because the birthplace of hip hop isn't the Bronx. We use that now as revisionist history. The birthplace of hip hop is some vacant lot somewhere in Povertyville. I mean, whether it was Brooklyn or the Bronx or Queens or wherever. I mean, obviously, I'll tell you right now. Look on a map and see how many of your favorite rappers come from the Long Island.
Yeah, true.
You know, so there was obviously something in the fluoridated water that made people vibrate a certain way. Was it their Caribbean roots combined with the fluoridated water? Something like that. But like the idea of hip hop and this cultural movement being born in one spot is a fallacy, bro. That's like people saying so-and-so invented fire. Nah, man, a lightning bolt hit a fucking tree and it burnt the fucking tree up. And the dude in the valley, down below in the valley, saw the tree burning, looked up and was like, oh shit, I could fucking heat my squirrel up on that. The dude up in the mountain saw the tree on fire, looked down and was like, oh shit, I could fucking heat my goat meat up on that. Who created fire? Nobody created hip hop. That shit is eternal. Yo, listen, I'm about to leave y'all with this thought right here. Hip hop is based on two things: the sound of the drum and the human voice. The human voice is meant to mimic the birds, the eternal discussion that birds be having, like tweeting, talking, whatever they fucking do. It's melodic. It's incredible. What are they saying? I don't know, but they're fucking talking. And the drum is made to mimic the sound of thunder.
Yep.
When thunder cracked off, like you be walking and shit, and thunder crack off, what do? You stop. And you be like, oh shit, where did that come from? Which direction did that come from? Let me turn around and locate it and find out what the fuck is going on. The drum is the sound of thunder telling you, stop, look, listen. A message is about to be delivered. Hip hop used to take the sound of the drum and give you a message to empower you, to inform you, to enlighten you, to give you knowledge. Rap music right now takes the sound of the drum and be telling you to fucking take Oxycontin or do some shit to give you jail time. All right, so we went from using the drum to abusing the drum. All right, but rap beef, listen, I'm trying to be a vegan.
Thank you very much, DP, for those wise words.
Thank you, sir. Make sure you follow Dallas Penn on IG. Maybe he can help you get your polo a little better.
All right, check them out on Talking Texture, which you can also hear me rapping on. Oh, that was hilarious. So a lot of rap beefs can be based on really some petty bullshit. Circling back to the Pusha and Drake beef, really seems to have started from Pusha and the Clips. But it probably started from the Clips and Lil Wayne, because Lil Wayne said that Bape was whack until when the Clips was wearing it, and it was hot because he was wearing it.
Are we not getting
I'd
into
argue before that.
Are we not talking about the fact that Baby never paid them for what happened to that boy?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah, that was what I always thought the impetus for everything was.
Yeah.
Yeah, Baby doesn't pay anybody. That's why I think that was kind of
It wasn't
known. I
wasn't
think
expected, but at the
I
time,
mean,
Pharrell, that's
Everyone
what,
else
yeah.
could probably ride with that. I don't think the Clips is trying to not get paid.
And here's the
Fair.
difference: you never see Pharrell work with another Cash Money artist, like while they're on Cash Money.
so. It
But-
can very well be petty. So I'm not sure why there is this value of rap beef sometimes
Oh.
when there can clearly be a conversation between these two grown ass people.
Okay, this is why. Because if beef is real, then you don't get to making a rap song, y'all fight or somebody gets hurt on like in the real world, you know? But rap beef is petty, so you say something in a verse and then somebody gets back at you, so you have to up the ante, and it gives us it should give us progressively better songs as time goes on. Like we got Takeover, then we had to deal with Ether. But Ether restarted Nas's career and lyrically was a better song. We're not going to talk about the beat at all because everybody knows how everybody feels about the beat on Ether.
Fuck Ether.
Yeah, it's a terrible beat.
No, also fuck Ether.
Whoa.
So that's that.
Oh, okay. Well, I just feel like beef escalates. Beef escalates in a healthy way. Like, all right, that's good to know. But if you just look at, even if you look at the history between Drake and Pusha, you can't tell me that some of Drake's hardest songs are the ones where he's going at Pusha. Some of Pusha's hardest songs are the ones where he's going at Drake. Like, and just the escalation of the more recent thing where we got Infrared, then we got Duppy Freestyle, and then we got Story at Adidon. That's just one-upsmanship that I would say it fed the culture for a fucking like a month or two, and it helped both people at the same time. Like Drake's name is always going to be in the spotlight, but like it adds a little bit more shine to Drake. It helped Pusha like get more bookings like on festivals. Like I love rap beef when it stays on wax because I think it brings out the best in rappers, real rappers, you know?
I would agree with you on that, but oftentimes it doesn't. Let's look at some of the more lyrical beefs. Honestly, the 50 Cent and Ja Rule beef was just 50 just taking shots at everybody. How to Rob also featured Hove, but it didn't get as tumultuous as the issues between 50 and Ja.
Go ahead.
Another one, the beef between Beans and Jadakiss. Beanie Siegel and Jadakiss, where, yeah, that was purely lyrical. But Styles P, after the fact, said, oh, no, they were definitely about to pull out the tools on each other. Like, it was going to potentially get messy.
But it never did. And that gave us some great freestyles. Like, just
True.
amazing bodies of work in, like, music.
Over a car, by the way.
If it was something real, the
A
guns
car
would-
that
the guns
neither
would've
one,
been
not one of us could afford right now.
But it's like, if it was about anything more real, like if rap beef was over something real, other than like a label dispute, because label disputes they're real and they always end up being around rap beefs. But like, if it's about something real, like you actually hurt like somebody I know, or it was something just deeper than rap, then it's not a rap beef anymore. It's just beef, and then that leads to like, you know, bloodshed and heartache. But that's why rap beefs have to be petty, and because they're petty, they just lead. I think they lead to like good music. They should lead to good music, you know.
True.
Like as long as they, you know, they follow the rules and just stays on. Everything just needs to stay on wax. That's all I'm saying. Like 6ix9ine and Chief Keef, there was no music made. Everything was trash. 6ix9ine took Chief Keef's wife out. Baby mama, to go get freaking clothing, and they alluded to the fact that she might have had sex with him. It's like, this doesn't help anything. This doesn't push us forward.
That's not the 50 Cent playbook, though.
It is, but we've already on
And
this.
he lost that beef.
Who, 50?
Yeah,
Yes, he did
to
lose
Ross.
that with Ross.
Are we saying he lost to Ross?
He did.
I am definitively saying that he lost the Ross.
50 hiding money from his like baby mama is what made him go bankrupt. Like that, I don't believe any of that at all. Yeah.
No, they held his bankruptcy proceedings in lieu of him being sued by Rick Ross's baby mother.
No, I thought.
They were like, no, nigga, you gonna pay whatever you owe right now. Yeah, certainly you can certainly look that up. But pushing forward, because you make a good point about if it stays on wax, and it can sometimes get complicated. However, how much do the entourage and the fans get involved with beef? Like East Coast, West Coast beef, from what I have been told from people that were old enough to fly to other coasts in the 90s, that it was certainly hot for New York niggas in California and vice versa for really several years, well, several months after Biggie's murder.
I mean, like, it's just weird. Like, I just enjoy when, like, everybody on the side is hopping on the record and going at people. Like, the whole extreme mentality of it, like when somebody shoots somebody else from the crew and somebody gets cut. I don't know who that's on, right? Like, is that on the rapper themselves? Like, is that because the beef is about something that's deeper than we realize? Or like who has the responsibility of that, you know?
I think that's the media, though. I feel like the whole East Coast, West Coast beef that happened was based off of like the media talking about it and reporting it and being like, oh, this is happening. So everyone read about it and then they hopped on that shit and then it became a bigger thing than it should have been. You know what I'm saying? Like nowadays, like media gets into it, but no one's really trying to kill each other at this point. And even, who is it? The dude that wrote for Vibe, Kevin
Powell.
He even said, like, he was like, yo, I wrote about that shit and I feel bad because, you know, he escalated that beef. And I know when I was growing up, I didn't listen to Tupac. I did not. I refused. Not gonna listen. I don't listen to West Coast shit. I only listen to East Coast shit. And I didn't fuck with anything. So
it's okay. You're not missing much.
yeah, it was.
That's what
Jokes. Fuck everybody.
Jokes.
No.
Jokes. Jokes.
Fuck Tupac. No.
I don't need Tupac Hive.
The thoughts
and
and opinions of at THECAINMARKO are explicitly his and not those of the Hard Knock Life podcast.
Hey, it was all jokes. Tupac is a hip hop icon.
My uncle married somebody from the Bay, so I was stuck with that, whether I liked it or not. But I did. Did
you listen to a lot of Too Short back in the day too?
No, absolutely not. Like, come on. Like, I was 10. I don't need to learn the rules of pimping at 10 years old.
This is just my uneducated opinion talking, but I feel like, you know, it's interesting. Like when you listen to like rap battles, it sounds great. Like, you know, just the idea of like using words to express, you know, smack talk is like it just sounds really, really good. It just sounds amazing when you listen to it. Probably better when you do it. But I think that like some people cross a line where it's like, I mean, if you listen to like Sheether, like it's kind of like, oh, like this is amazing, like this is really, really good. But you would never expect Remy to like shoot up Nicki in real life, you know what I mean? But I feel like maybe some people.
Okay, no, we're not. Nope. All right, so I'm gonna take over from there because I know. Nope. Anyway, thanks for that opinion, Darwins. We're gonna leave it at that. Thank you. 'Cause I saw the mood and I wasn't gonna let it shift there. Nope. Anyway, so Mika, you brought up a great point about the media. Yeah, there to this day there are some people that blame Kevin Powell. Mm-hmm. Well, not to this day. I don't really know if anybody cares, but I know like as of like 5 or 6 years ago, people were still hopping his mentions on Twitter and be like, "You killed Tupac." Which I honestly can't say specifically him. I know that he definitely feels responsible, but really, from what I saw growing up, niggas ain't reading the magazines. Niggas just looking at the covers.
Yeah, but I mean that's the same way as it is now. Like Twitter, you look at people, you look at headlines. You don't read the actual article. You retweet something because it says the headline is like crazy or something. You know, oh, Drake just dissed Pusha, and everyone's like retweet. No one really looks at the article. But I'm thinking like, back in the 90s, like, you know, the internet wasn't popular like that. Like, we got our news from magazines. So it's like the only thing that we could see is what was printed. So there was no like, oh, I could go on Twitter and I could hear what Biggie thought or I could hear what Tupac thought. No one was out there. Like there was nothing there. You had nothing to go off of. So it's like, if the media is telling you all of this, then you're like, oh shit, this is really happening. So it is, in a way, telling people how to think. Like that's what the news is, and that's what media is in general. Like it's giving you that.
Interesting. Well, where I would blame the media in the 90s, even in the early 2000s, for kind of propagating this shit. I think that Double XL and Source definitely had something to do with 50 and Ja Rule's beef getting out of hand. Obviously, Benzino hated the fuck out of Eminem. But today, I don't even need the headlines. I can just jump to the page of the artists themselves. The story of Adidon didn't even come out on any major label. He just dropped that shit on SoundCloud.
But wait, I feel like, wasn't this shit fun all summer? Like, wasn't it fun to see MGK walk around with a neckerchief and a shovel and then get destroyed by Eminem a couple weeks later? Exactly. Like, this shit was fun. And especially in the era when people like, cats ain't rapping no more. Hip hop ain't what it used to be. Like, not just angry old backpack motherfuckers either. Just like people who are quote unquote like not the vanguard, the gatekeepers to it all, keep telling us about how terrible hip hop is right now. And then when hip hop presently gives us fresh feuds and fresh energy and fresh life, and it gives us all talking points. This isn't the 90s, right? This isn't even the early 2000s. Like, you have young idiots that are either not making records because they have beef and just like jumping each other, or doing stupid viral things that like people who have YouTube channels are doing for clout. Like, you have clout chasing people. And then we have like motherfuckers that are like, oh, rap beef is cool again, so I'm gonna make rap songs to you again. Like, this is cool. I like this. I like J. Cole being like, I'm gonna just air out all these young rappers, and then like another rapper taking his beat and having a response. Like, do this. More raps and rap. Like, it feels good. Like, I like it.
So what you're saying is you only like rap when there's conflict?
Ooh.
I mean, but if the conflict is crucial, isn't it good rap? No.
Notice how the narrative changes with a quick question.
Oh, no. I like rap in all of its forms and all of its natures. You know, you got an Eevee, you could evolve an Eevee like 7-8 different ways. And right now, everybody's just out here just putting a lightning stone to Eevee when you could put a lightning stone, a water stone, and a fire stone to Eevee. You feel me?
I think like you can only do one of those.
No, but you can catch more Eevees. I'm just saying it can evolve into different things. Either way you look at it, like, there's so many different facets to hip hop, right? Like, sometimes I want to listen to stuff and be melancholy. Sometimes I want to listen to stuff and feel like I'm back in the 90s. Other times I want to listen to stuff and imagine that I'm selling drugs. But then sometimes I want to listen to stuff and just have fun. And this is just another facet of hip hop. And all it does is add to how diverse this culture is. And as long as people aren't getting physically hurt from it, I say I welcome it. And all these people the fact that Drake was in a beef, so all of Drake's non-hip hop fans are like, oh, this is what rap beef is? Like, this is cool.
Now,
go ahead.
I don't think Drake's hip hop fans care about the beef he's in. Otherwise, Duppy Freestyle would not have come out only on SoundCloud.
I think
like all of his
like
beef
his pop
shit
fans?
has been on SoundCloud. It's not on Spotify or anything.
No, like I don't.
That's just for the people that's interested in it.
Yeah, but I don't think he has to market it toward his pop fans. But his pop fans are gonna know about it because they're rabid, right? Like I think Drake fans are rabid fan. Like, when you get a whole episode of Atlanta, you're a thing. And like, I think Drake is a huge thing. Pause. Hanging over like hip hop right now, right? He's a huge megastar. And I would just say that, like, even if a fraction of the people that don't really listen to hip hop and they're just like, oh, what's this raps thing? Or who the hell is Pusha T to be talking this in the first place? Just that right there just adds to the culture, because it adds people that didn't know about this aspect of it going and searching it out and like learning about it. And even if it's only a fraction, that fraction helps.
I think we also kind of underestimating like rap fans today. They're definitely listening to SoundCloud, like especially when you're looking at like Drake's core. They're young people, they're our age, they know what SoundCloud is. So the idea of him actually being like, yo, I want to get this out. I'm not even trying to make bread off of it. I'm gonna throw it right on SoundCloud so you understand how I'm feeling. I respect the very fact that they wanted to be, they were being essentially sincere about how they feel about each other.
I agree with that. People that like Drake that also like rap are checking the SoundCloud. People that like Drake that are not necessarily fans of rap as a whole don't necessarily care. That's
I can see how you're correct in that regard, but I also think that they also are like internet or tech savvy in the point that, okay, I'm following this guy, I watch every fucking tweet that he makes, or I follow any news from either Shade Room or his actual Instagram, and so I'm gonna at least be a little curious about what he has to say.
okay.
I mean, I know that they might not try to understand where the beef came from or even care to listen to Pusha's music. I mean, in the MGK and the MGK Eminem rap beef, I have never listened to an MGK song.
Oh, you listen to his album that
Fuck
dropped?
that. Fuck that.
Okay.
Are you insane? I mean, I respect Bad Boy and Diddy, but I'm sorry. There's just some signings I am not going to pretend to care about.
Wait, wasn't MGK and Eminem on the same label at one point?
No, you're thinking
Unless
Yellow
he
Wolf.
Oh yeah.
You're getting your white rappers mixed up.
I thought the same. Yellow.
You know, you're getting your white rappers.
Nah, he'd be like that.
Yeah.
Word.
To circle back to the point, yes, rap beef is cool, and we wouldn't be talking about it right now if it wasn't cool, if it wasn't even popular. But is it actually even? I don't think it's as effective as it used to be. We all know about the impact that Ether and Takeover had. Shit, for it to be so prominent that for him to
The
use it
MTV
on
joint?
the MTV Unplugged album, that's impactful. I think that we really haven't like absorbed any kind of music lately, but certainly not rap beef since Control, honestly. And Drake himself made the point. You remember the whole string of bars where he's coming at like his peers. Drake asked Elliott Wilson, you remember how the verse starts? Elliott Wilson was stumped, and to this day I still don't fucking know. Even on principle, I still don't know how it started.
It starts with him with a weird verse and the beat changes with a weird voice rather.
Shit.
Right.
That's every Kendrick song. Every Kendrick verse. Every Kendrick feature.
Didn't he start as something along the lines of like, who are the top three?
Bro,
No.
you could tell me.
Was that further
If
in the
you
verse?
said some random rambling shit like Eminem right now, I'd have to believe you.
I would contend that at least the beefs that we've seen this year have definitely helped almost everyone involved. Now, the issue with Drake talking about Control is like, yo, Drake cannot rap Kendrick, so you gotta hit it from a different angle. He's like, oh, but think about it. Like, do you remember how that verse starts? Like, no, Drake, we don't. Do you remember how most of your verse starts? No, Drake, because you just be singing choruses. It's okay.
Wait,
What?
you saying Drake and his team don't want that smoke?
No.
Absolutely
not.
not.
In any way, shape, form,
I'm
or
saying
fashion.
it. I'm saying it.
They don't want Ab Soul getting mad at them. Like, that's how crazy TDE's
Shit,
roster
no.
is.
Also, I think right now the interviews that Drake did with LeBron's The Shop on HBO and Pusha did with the Joe Budden podcast are more impactful than the actual songs.
Wait, the biggest...
And I think, which is interesting because I can remember Drake having that conversation with Elliott Wilson, but I still can't remember how that Control verse started.
That's... Wait. Here's the issue. Wait. Nah, this is my point. You keep saying that those were more impactful than the actual songs. I'm sorry. I didn't know Drake had a kid. Drake was hiding a child. That has been the line of the summer. It didn't even rhyme.
So
He didn't even let the bar rhyme.
our point is,
you were hiding a child.
and I know that Mika and I had that conversation. That shit had been on Lipstick Alley for a smooth year.
There were Native Americans before Christopher Columbus came here.
When you have
and America made...
when you had no, hold on. When you have Kid Fury and Crystal, who are not rap aficionado saying old news, we already knew Pusha, whatever, that says something right there.
Yes, it was not publicly known, but it was publicly available information.
Yeah. Same thing with Bill Cosby. It took Cannibal Buress coming back and bringing it back up.
But that's also been in the news. But Drake's, what is his baby mother's name? Do we know?
No.
Exactly.
Okay.
But I know
Not
she's
out of
on X
disrespect,
videos.
But she has been on a weeks-long campaign tarnishing Drake on Twitter. Wasn't that hard to find? If you knew, you had to look for it.
I
I
know.
mean, you can Google Drake's baby mom right now, and
that's
you'll get
cool.
the entire lowdown
Wait.
of her.
We're arguing two different points. You're arguing this information existed and was available. I'm arguing this information was made widely known and publicized. It's the difference between calling a Band-Aid and an adhesive strip. Like, listen, them shits existed, but Band-Aid made the shit so popular that it changed the definition of it. That's all I'm saying. Like, you could have known this about Drake, but nobody really absorbed it.
I don't know what the fuck you really trying to say, but I'm gonna just let you have it. I'm just gonna let you have it.
But all I'm trying to, the overall point that I'm trying to make is that I do feel like these records were impactful. Like, I guarantee you MGK makes more money per show now after the beef with Eminem. I get, what?
Nah.
Or he's doing
I
more
guarantee
shows.
you, I don't give a shit. I will never
know.
look up an MGK show to find out.
We also got to remember.
Never gonna do it.
Yes.
Never
Yo,
gonna look on Ticketmaster for the MGK.
I'm just
Are you
saying.
out of mind of my time?
Yo, listen. I'm just saying, yo, we all like, we're all.
Someone who don't care. Still like 3 old bars, bro.
I had 3 whole bars for it. I guess so.
The music matters, and I think the music this whole summer mattered, and it feels damn good. It felt good. Like, you can't tell me that Sheetha didn't give Remy more life, like, and people gave her more eyes. Like, recent rap beef, because it stayed just like on wax, it has just helped. Like, you can't tell me that, like, part of the appeal of J. Cole's last album wasn't the fact that 1985 came out and there was so much traction that he ended up having a fucking conversation with Lil Pump. You know? Like, all of this is adding to the zeitgeist as a whole. And then when we look back, like, there's still meat there and there's still stuff to unpack. And people were doing timelines on a Drake versus Pusha beef from 2012. And when it came back up, then people restarted timelines. Like, it's like seeing a good boxing match. It's like, oh, this shit still exists. You know? It brings energy back to it, to the sport as a whole.
Sure. And so I think when you're looking at beef in 2018, I think it is definitely a culmination of like the history of hip hop. You know, obviously there are some very what's the word I'm looking for? There's still some very original sentiments there where sometimes a misunderstanding, sometimes a miscommunication can blow up, and now millions of people are wading through your dirty laundry. I think that
End up like Brother Nature.
shit, man, dude, they came from Brother Nature.
We ain't canceling shit.
I ain't canceling Brother Nature. Shit, if you were ever a fan of Odd Future, you probably got some shit you might want to delete too. From like 67 years ago, okay? I'm not canceling that motherfucker.
Tyler definitely has a song called "My Bitch Suck Dick Like She Suck Dick." That's the chorus.
It's a fire song, though.
It is.
Oh my god. Okay, this is getting dark. Hold on.
Ooh, old Odd Future, man. That's
But
a lot.
I think that there is definitely an evolution that we're witnessing, and that there are so many different facets of media that this is spanning, and that the artists are now controlling the narratives themselves. You have all this kind of unfiltered access to them at this point. I think that's also amazing. It's not just in the music now, it's in their brand, and I appreciate that. But as always, we would love to have your opinion on it. You can check us out on our social media, both Twitter and Instagram at HKL Podcast, and you can certainly argue with us on our SoundCloud links, soundcloud.com/HKL podcast as well. And
And you can find us on Audio Mac too. Make sure you go there. Give us some likes. Give us some listens. Shout out to Audio Mac.
For sure. And in closing, we know that you have to live this hard knock life, but we hope that y'all make it look easy. Shut the fuck up. Until next time.
Peace.
Thank you. I was worried for a second there.
Like he geared up too. He geared up too. I saw it.
Oh, yo, you
I saw it.
I did.